And here we go.
And here we go. 2 down, 1 to go. How'd you feel after that event?
I felt great. Honestly, I thought it was the best fight card I put on as far back as I can remember. I know I've done some other ones that I felt like I felt this weekend, but I felt great. I thought all the fights delivered. You know what I mean?
Every one
It
of
was
them.
exciting from the first one to the last one. Um, and the casino was happy and we sold out. We sold out the first two, we're 2 out of 3 so far in 2024.
Nice. Nice.
So I was excited. I was excited for Albert. I was excited to see Darren win the super lightweight title, and we kind of out of necessity just made that happen. And man, I was excited for my guy Neek. He was in a dogfight.
That was a great fight.
That
And
was
props. I mean, we knew coming into that Ali was a fighter, and at no point was he out of that fight. There were a couple times it looked like he was out of that fight, but Ortiz came back, was just nailing him with those bombs. Like that fight was so good.
that kid. He's special, man. Nicasio has the intangible. He just gets tougher as the fight goes on. He walks to the corner looking frustrated, like, why did that happen? And he just gets more pissed off and he just comes out. There's a lot we need to work on with him. He wants to turn pro. I think we're ready. Um, and he can get so much better. Like he can get so much better. And
I was telling Ed that I've never seen anyone bury their forehead in someone's chest and just rip body shots the way that dude was doing that.
yeah,
And I was
I
like, God damn.
that's what I tell him. That's my game plan for him. I want to work more on clinching and knees and some Greco-Roman wrestling because that's where, there's no secret. He's a 5'7". We're not going to stand at the end of your reach.
Yeah.
We're going to put our head in your chest and rip to the body and take you down and grind you out. And he was in trouble, man. I mean, Ali was bringing it, and then but once Neek hits you, you can see it on the other guy's face. Like they don't want that smoke anymore. And he kept shooting because when he was connecting, uh, when Neek was connecting with Ali, like Ali was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I think that was her game plan too, to try and take him down. But like I'm really proud of, like I was a wrestler first, and like I'll go on record, like I do not pull guillotines. I don't believe in really throwing guillotines. Like I believe if you should throw a guillotine if you stuff the shot and you stop their momentum and you stop the shot, then yeah, I'll attack a guillotine standing up. But if their energy is coming into you and you're trying to throw a guillotine and they're bending you at the hips, like you're just gonna get taken down and ground and pounded. And I'm talking MMA. I'm not talking jujitsu with the gi, but like, and I instilled that in Nicasio from the get go. I'm like, you are gonna wrestle in dirty box, and like when he decides you're not taking me down anymore, like he stuffed every shot beautifully, beautifully. I was super proud.
The other speaking of submissions, the other fight that Ed and I were just impressed the whole time was Sean and Sahib. Those arm bars were brutal, and he just kept getting out of them. And then he had a weird almost triangle at one point, and then he was
He
just
had an
knocking out all these.
he had an omoplata, he had a go-go plata. I told you guys he's scrappy and it would be up and down and full of exchanges. But Sean's very upright, right? He's very upright. And so when you hit him, like he moves, like he took some damage, but he gave out a ton of damage too, man. And it was highly entertaining.
Those submissions, like that first armbar, like waiting for a tap, and then all of a sudden he gets out of it. Then the armbar again, he gets out of it. Like I couldn't believe how bendy he was, how much he could take from those submissions and not go out, not tap. Like that fight was also great.
Yeah, it was very fun fight, super fun fight. I was sitting next to my Professor Steve Cabana, teaches at our academy, Royal MMA, and he's like, I love this guy, man. I'm a fan. He's entertaining. Like he was just throwing it up, and like it was fun to watch. It was a great night. Even the first two fights, Alec Fast came out and lived up to his last name Fast and made short work of Liam. And the second fight,
Jasper.
Jasper Brigetti, the firefighter, he brought a ton of people, and he was throwing heaters. And that little kid, Andreas Corrales, no fear, man. He was only 20 years old, 19, 20, I think. Took that fight on short notice, and he was matching. You know what I mean? And then he was like not afraid. He was going for it.
And
His Mexican came out.
Sharon and McKenday, like they came in and put on a war too. I don't think there was one knockdown that Sharon got caught with, but after that, they both were in that fight the whole time.
Yeah. Did you notice that, like, I ended up cornering him? Like, that dude, imagine the courage it takes to go and cut weight and show up at a venue, like, with no support. In fact, he brought his kids and was taking them to the movies the night before and playing dad, getting them tucked in the hotel room. Okay, watch the live stream. And then he's coming to fight. Like, that's amazing me. That kid has so much courage. And that kid has such a warm spot in my heart because he's fought for me so many times. And I watch him fight for so many people. And he's a true, like, gunslinger, man. He's like a hired hand. And it's like I said on the pre-fight hype, like, I really believe if that kid had good coaching and lived in the city or lived where there was a support system around him, like, he's really good. Because he made some very basic mistakes, and he was listening to our coaching. Matthias and I were coaching him, and like, we kind of coached him through, and he survived that fight and stayed in it, where I don't know that he would have if he would have been by himself. But I have a tremendous amount of respect and appreciation for Sharon to show up and fight well. Like, he's not a jabroni. Like, when I was a kid growing up, when you'd hear your dads talk about a journeyman electrician, that was like, there was some pride with that. Like, that's somebody who's like, he's been in the game, he's seasoned, he's got a black belt, he's a brown belt, he's been up doing it a while. So to me, the term journeyman is not a derogatory or negative. It's like, this guy's been around. Now, jabroni, that's different.
That's
term.
negative. Yeah. I said that to Ed because I wasn't sure how that goes. Like in our organization, I said, hey, is it respectful to say this dude's a journeyman? And Ed said same thing you did. He was like, yeah, it means he's been around, he's been doing, he knows what's up. And so, yeah, Sharon is a journeyman and shows up wherever he wants to fight or can fight. He shows up and he puts on a fight every time you see him.
He really does, man. He's a great person too. He's just got good energy and he's happy and he's a tough kid, man.
And McKenday's on a solid roll now too, stacking up wins, looking better and better every time we see him fight.
I think I talked to his coach, and his coach wants McKenday to fight Darren Smith. Ooh. Darren Smith made 159, so he might do a catch at 160. Ooh. So what if I put together Darren Smith and McKenday?
That could get interesting.
Woo!
That could get real interesting real quick.
That's tantalizing, isn't it?
That would be real fun to watch.
That would be fun because they both have a lot of power, you know. I'd want to do that 5 rounds because I could see it being the type of fight that you think is going to be great, that they're kind of like very respectful of each other's power, and sometimes not a lot happens because they're just gauging and very selective in how they engage. And I don't see them both like throwing it caution to the wind and throwing the kitchen sink at it because they both have power.
What does McKenday walk around at?
Let's see. Say again.
What does McKenday walk around at?
I don't know, but you can tell he cuts hard to 55. You know, he looks pretty depleted. Like when you saw him at weigh-ins, he was pretty sucked in, right?
Yeah.
I'd say 70, if not a little more.
We could maybe have him fight for the super lightweight title.
His coach brought it up to me. Like Ryan Diaz is like, hey, he's got more, he's got a huge team. So he's trying to do his best as the coach to get his guys work. So I always feel like he's got me on the ropes and he's just like, boom, he's just give my guys fights. He's always grinding on me in good spirit, of course, but he's a great coach. He's always like, let's get to work.
Yeah. I think McKenday versus Darren for our super lightweight title. That'd be a good title fight.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get on that like tonight, later on today, and see, see where it goes.
Speaking of title fights, so our main event, Albert and Luis, it was a rematch, and Luis won a handful of years ago. Albert won now, and after he put the belt on him, he said if they could wanted to do it again, he'd do it again to have that rubber match. You think there's enough there to do that?
Yeah, I mean, if that's what Albert wants to do, I'm gonna go have lunch with him after we're done, and we're gonna talk about what he wants to do, and look at my schedule, at the Koga schedule, and he wants to stay busy. I think he'd fight in 2 weeks on March if I could get him, if I could do it again. Uh, he honestly suggested that to me before this fight, and I'm like, bro, like Luis is no slouch. You're gonna be in a dogfight. I don't know that you're gonna be ready to fight 2 weeks later. For example, I mentioned to Sean Kalinowski and Sahab Kazay because the Moshielati Ben Wada fight fell off. I'm like, hey man, I'm planting a seed. If you guys come out unscathed, and you want to go March 9th, I need a 135er to fight Ben. And like they both, I don't think either of them are ready.
I
I
don't think
know
they would be after that.
Sean's not ready. He's like, bro, my hands hurt, my this hurt. I won. When's the next one? Like he's ready to work, but like, um, he's like he's so tall. He's a 135er, but he's got the frame of a 125er
Yeah, and he's got speed
body.
too.
Yeah, but he's lanky, so that guy's fun to watch. So, yeah, we can do that. I mean, I'm not opposed to, I'm gonna talk to Albert today, and I don't think he took any damage. I think if I could find him a fight March 9th,
He'd probably be
um,
there.
he would do it. In fact, I'll bet you money. I'll text you at 1 o'clock and be like, "Yeah,
That's
it's
what we're
ready."
doing. What have you had a chance to talk to Dex since that fight?
I talked to him after the fight, and I even went up to his wife, Amy, and I'm like, "What happened? Like, is Dex okay? Was he hurt?" She's like, "I don't know what happened." She looked very disappointed in his performance too. I know he was. I talked to Dex. I know he was disappointed in his performance, but I know he felt good. He just did the best he could. He got punched like right in the eyeball, like, and I think that hurt him, and he got clipped, and he just didn't know how to like really get up after that. Like the way he was just, he took that punch, and I think it hurt him, and he was kind of reeling in pain a little bit, and he never really recovered. Right, Darren really never recovered, never really let him recover. He just kept the heat on him, threw some knees to the body, held him down on that kind of fetal position, and um, Dex was hurt. He got hurt. He was, that's the power that we were talking about with Darren,
Okay.
and I think he was a little dazed, and I think his vision was a little messed up, and he was dealing with that as Darren was just bringing the heat. So I think the referee did a good thing and made a good stoppage, but it wasn't Dex's best performance for sure, but and my conversation with Dex afterwards is like his spirits were good. We talked like maybe we'll do one more retirement fight. Um, and he's coaching the Chavez brothers. He was happy for Albert. He's like, I'm happy for Albert. Like he knows where he's at. Dex is 38. Dex started with me he fought on the first show. Dex fought on Koga 1, and
He's
we
been
just
around
did
for a long time.
78. So like that says it all right there. He has 3 Koga belts, one at 155, I think 145, and the 170. And you know who I want to see? Like I want to see Dex fight somebody like his age, or if he wants to. I think Dex and Sharon is a good fight. I've tried to make that fight happen before
That would be a good fight.
because they both like to strike and bang, and they both have really good hands. And Dex started as a boxer, as you know. I tried to make that fight happen before. Dex had some weight cutting health issues, so it wouldn't be it maybe at 60.
Yeah, yeah, they could do that.
Actually, I think Dex is a 170 pounder, man. He's got that thick Samoan DNA. He's thick, and he holds his weight. Um, I think I think if Dex wants to do kind of one more last hurrah retirement fight, I think because he loves to fight, you know. But I think he's at peace. He wasn't disappointed in himself. I
Okay,
think he was
good.
disappointed in his performance. I think he felt good about himself. He was happy for his team, which says a lot about Dex because him and Albert are like they're fight family, they're gym family, right? They train together. He was happy for Albert, and he's happy to put his time and energy to the Chavez brothers. And we had a good talk after the show about what's coming up, and we're gonna get those brothers matched up and promote them together. And they want to do work for Koga. Um, so we'll see. We'll give Dex a couple weeks to settle in. We'll talk in March, probably at the next event when he's cornering. He's going to be cornering, and I'm sure he's either going to be like, "Yeah, dude, I'm done," or he'll want to. If I know Dex, his ring name is Flashy, so he will want to go out on a W or a better performance in the
Fair.
cage. Um, but he got hit, like he got hurt. He was dazed and his vision was off, and he really just couldn't muster enough energy or thought process to kind of get up and regroup. And that's the power inside of Darren Hollywood Smith's hands, right?
Yep. And now Darren's champ. He's Pacific Northwest BMF and the super lightweight title. Like, and that's just also amazing for him and his story. And I don't know. I just thought the whole night was freaking great. There wasn't a
What
single
about
boring
him and
fight.
Albert at 170?
That would be good too.
But they have the same management team. They don't. Their managers won't want them to fight. They won't want to fight each other. Um,
I like what you said with Darren and McKenday for the 165 belt. I think that's the fight we should try to make.
yeah, I do too.
I
Good
think that
job.
would be freaking great.
Be my assistant matchmaker soon.
I told you that's how I found out about that douchebag team we don't talk about. I was just looking at. I literally think I just YouTube or I Googled. Actually, Chris Cope and I were talking about. You'll remember, of course, you will. Way back in the day when Northwest Fight Scene, when they had their website and it was like an active thing. That's how back when I was competing, like that's how we found out what grappling tournaments were in Oregon or Canada, or like where is our team going next. And I don't know why, a month ago, 2 months ago, I was like, oh, I wonder what happened to that. And I went to that site and it's not what it used to be, but
Is it still alive?
the site's still there. I don't remember the last time it was updated though, but the site's still there, but there's no, I think it's 7 or 8, maybe a year of even posting events and stuff. But so that's how I went to YouTube, or I went there and was looking for just the names of promotions of places around, because I wanted to look for fighters to then send you and be like, yo, have you seen this guy? Like, he should come fight for us. And that's how I found that douchebag organization. But I've been looking at other organizations around here just to see what was up to who could come potentially put on fights for our guys.
We're having to branch out. I'm gonna reach out to Hawaii. I know there's a lot of dogs in Hawaii that like to fight and have some sponsors that can pay their own travel out. Northern California, I'm gonna start looking to Utah and Wyoming. We're on a little post-COVID. Like there's a lot of guys like Luis and Albert. They're kind of on their second leg of their regional career, right? And the regional career is tough. It's like being in a band where 5 or 6 dudes are driving in a van going from show to show to show. You deal with these guys a lot, and they're like just scratching out enough to just survive and eat. They're not building wealth. They're not growing as a family or whatever their personal life is. You know what I mean? So like these regional fighters, like it's kind of like a hobby that they're trying to turn pro. Most of them have full-time jobs that they have to negotiate around their training and their fights. So it's difficult, and talent is a little thin right now. A lot of guys that were kind of in the middle of their careers, COVID hit and put a 2-year kind of damper on it. And now we're coming out, and a lot of guys we're on the shelf and not coming back off. There's some young up and comers, and that's what I got to find, the young talent. We got to find the new talent. Like Dex. He started in 2009 and he's been doing it 10, 13 years. Sharon, same thing. Sharon's a few years younger. And I think he's got a lot more on the tank, a little more on the tank. But Albert, he's on his last push to kind of get to the big show,
Yeah.
UFC or Bellator or something like that. That's his goal. I would love to help him achieve that. McKenday is a young up and comer. Darren could make a run at a BFL or a PF or a Bellator or a PFL. I could see him doing something like that. Those guys have the right ingredients to kind of get a little farther. Like that JR Bun. We didn't even talk about that JR Bun Hamisi Kondo fight. Like the second knockout, like
Yeah.
that Vitor Belfort kick straight to the face that got our world champ jump roper. Like that's a surprise. But man, that kid throws bombs right out of the
Yes, he
gate,
did.
right?
Right out of the gate, right at the bell.
No warm-up shots. Like he doesn't even know what a jab is. He comes out just throwing a 2 over the top. Fastball, overhand right from the back pocket.
I couldn't believe that up kick. He tried it twice, and then that third time he tried it, it landed, and it was just like, holy shit, that dude is out. And I know him and the coaches, I started off, they kind of wanted to be like, that's in, but he was out on his way down. He really was. I think he hit the
I
ground.
think he was out on his feet and kind of woke up, and then he jumped up, but he didn't look like he was there. So Ryan did the right thing and protected him. Like a lot of times, just because they're up, they're just kind of like a golf ball sitting on a tee, like ready to get smashed again, right? Like he got rocked, he stood up, or he fell on his butt, he started to get up. I'm always going to side with the referees and my officials because it's a thankless job, and sometimes your mind just jumps in there. And yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Maybe he could have let it go, and maybe it would have been a great fight, or maybe he would have just took a 2 down the pipe or a high kick to the head, and we would have carted him off into the ambulance. So
Yeah.
you never know. You got to go with the man in the ring. He's got the best view, and Ryan Hoisington, Chris Cope, Jeff Hoiby are great officials. Our whole official team: Lamont Nelson, Dr. Jen, Dr. Weber. I want to give a shout out to my team, my medical doc, everybody. They do a good job, and I'm very proud of our team and the product that we produce and how our shows are run. It's good stuff.
What's the next fight?
So it's good, man. I'm stoked. I'm super pumped. I'm on that post-show high. We had a great time after the show celebrating Professor Steve Cabana's birthday from Royal MMA, our instructor. We had so much fun, talking about the camaraderie that you build with some of the guys that you interview. Like, isn't it cool, man? Like the relationships that we form in this fight game, and there's like your gym family that's like this. It's like tighter and cooler than your regular family, honestly, because
100%.
you develop this love and respect for each other. And then there's like the gym rivalries that are friendly, and like you love and respect those guys as opponents. And then I just feel super blessed, man, to be a part of it, to be conducting and orchestrating and building friendships with you and Ed and my officials and my ring doctors and the fighters and their coaches. And I feel super rich and wealthy in friendship and in relationships. And I'm super grateful for it. It's a lot of fun. I'm feeling super good this morning. I'm just like, yeah, 2 sellouts in a row. We're going to do it again. The show's going to sell out. If you guys go get your tickets right now, get your rooms right now. March 9th, Rumble at the Reef 3. Last week, I said, how are tickets going? She said, it's going to sell out for sure. There's like 100 tickets left. That was last week. So it's going to sell out this week off of the momentum of the show. Once the live wire boys know, I'm going to shoot Cobo a text and be like, get your tickets, bro, because everybody's going to call me being like, how do I get tickets? I'm gonna be like,
can't help you. Yeah.
Well, so I'm pumped, man. I'm super pumped. It's
especially going from, like we talked about, our first one in Bremerton and then this one, all leading to the next one that, like you just said, right now we have 12 fights, potentially have 13, like a stacked card. Like it has been a nuts 6 weeks, or what is it? How it's
Yeah.
been what, 6 weeks, 3
six
events?
week stretch inside of 2 months, like and then I started I'm matchmaking for Fight Quest number 8, which is the all amateur show at the Super Mall in Auburn at Fight Quest MMA with Synergy and Team Peak MMA. Probably going to get JR Bunn to maybe headline that, or maybe he wants to stay on a bigger show. I don't know. We're going to get the Chavez brothers to headline that. They won on that show. They cross trained there. So we are going all amateur Fight Quest 8, April 20th in Auburn. And then a month later, May 25th, we are back at Clearwater Casino. And I'm working on some bigger matchups with that. I want to do my 185 belt or my 205 belt. I want to get all my champions established this year and just establish the brand in that capacity, that manner. We're talking about McKenday and Darren Smith Jr. And so we got a lot of things happen. We're cranking. It just feels like where the momentum is going with us right now. The momentum is good.
The momentum's good. Fights are good. We got assholes out there trying to rip us off and scam from other people. Like it's kind of a good place to be in right now, sitting where we are. And like, I want to say, I don't want to already, but I want to be March 10th that morning to just be able to look back and be like, holy fuck, we just did all that. But I don't, because I'm excited to see that fight. But just I can only imagine March 10th when we wake up and are like, holy fuck, we just did all that.
Yeah. It was yeah, we've done a lot in 6 weeks, right? It's kind of like I said, it feels like a long time ago, but it was just last night and 2 weeks before that. And so it's been all kind of a blur. But it's been fun, man. I'm living the dream. I'm up late at night matchmaking, and it gets hectic. And yeah, I get stressed out a little bit sometimes, but it's super fun. Like today, I'm gonna go to my gym and work out and train some kids and teach some classes, do some matchmaking. Give Nicasio a hot. Nicasio will probably not be at the gym today. He'll probably take some time off. He usually takes a couple of days off, but
well-deserved days off.
Celebrate. I got a kid who's 8-1. He's beat everybody. He's stud and he's ready to go pro. And I'm ready to go on that journey with him. I haven't really wanted to coach pros in a while. It's just a different grind. It's a different thing. It takes different energy. But Nicasio is a type of human being that has the heart that like I'm ready to go on that grind with, and ready to cross train with ATT Portland, send him and Leighton down there and help them on that journey. And, my fight team is growing. I got more guys at the academy. Hey, coach, how long does it take to fight? I want to fight. And I'm like, just keep coming to the gym. So my fight team's growing. The academy, the business is growing. The promotion is growing. We're looking at acquiring a couple more properties. We got some exciting things in the works. I think some exciting announcements in the next couple months coming down the pipe. I'm back working with Fight Quest with Ron Pittman, James Duras, Brad Schwartz down at Fight Quest. Fitness Quest is the gym. They're the sponsors. Fight Quest is the MMA portion of it with Mike and Cassie Chupa at Team Peak MMA and Ron and those guys. I'm happy to be affiliated and working with them and partnered up with them, and not being so busy that I can't do an all amateur show. It just keeps me more in the loop.
Yeah, fair.
Why not just keep going? I just did it. When my wife's like, I was like, I don't want to do another show, and she's like, just do it. She's like, you're already doing it. Like, just keep going.
You're going to just do it.
Yeah. So it's gonna be good. I'm matchmaking for 2 shows, like no rest, and things are good, man. Go online to Coga.tv, get your tickets for Rumble on the Reef 3, March 9th. You can buy them there, or you can go to Ticketmaster, or you can go directly to the silverreefcasino.com. If you want to buy the stream, go to millions.co/Koga, or go to Koga.tv and click buy the stream. People are still buying the stream. You won't be sorry. It's a well spent $19.99.
Yes.
You'll be entertained. The production was good. Shout out to Garrett Fertig, probably the best ring announcer in the Pacific Northwest, who's kind of taken charge of my rundown and helping me organize just how to drop those slides in and like just tighten up the show. Did you watch
Yeah.
the stream?
Yeah.
It's
I haven't
tight,
watched
right?
it yet, but just being there, and when I got there, because he had emailed me the breakdown stuff before, and so when I got them, we were talking. I was like, okay, like this is how we'll do it. And then the kinks that the production guys threw at us, he would come to me and be like, hey, here's what they want to do. What do you want to do? And like he was a good middleman, and then also was the firm voice of like, no, this is how we're doing it. Go. And I was like,
Yeah,
all right, let's go.
he I'm thankful I gave that away to him because like he, you know, it's hard for me to I only have so much bandwidth and some things I'm just like, I don't understand it. But like he kind of forced me to put the time and energy. And he's like, look, I'll do it, but it needs to go like this. And I know that he knows what he's talking about because he's done so many other shows at higher level promotions. So um,
Yeah, that
we
was,
bump heads a little bit in a way, just that like how we communicate. Sometimes we miscommunicate, but like I super appreciate Garrett. Um, he really, I thought this show was very well produced. It was much tighter, and we kind of filled in those gaps with sponsorship opportunity. And we have the template. We have the template, and it's only going to get better.
that's
And
what him and I talked about was let's get it to a spot where those events we have where he can't be there, then that's fine. Like the template's here and we're having someone fill in for him. Or when he's there and I'm there, we have the template, but then the casino is throwing something weird at us. Like, okay, well then that's the only thing we're dealing with is this one obstacle. And so, yeah, him and I had a handful of good talks about what we want to start doing. And
yeah,
I like that he has his earpiece in and I can talk shit to him while he's in the ring waiting for me to throw to him. That's freaking fun too.
yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening and see the pauses because I'm sitting cage side and I'm like, what's going on? And then I could tell, okay, he's waiting for Robbie and Ed to finish talk, and then they're coming in. And so um the template's good, man. It's good. The production is good. It's only gonna get better. You and Ed did great. You guys were awesome. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Garrett. My whole team, man. It's a team thing, and I think everybody's proud to be on board with Koga. I think they see that we're the biggest, we're the best, we're gonna keep growing, and I feel like everybody's proud to be on that team, and they feel the same way. I think the fighters are starting to figure it out, like, hey, this is where to be. This is the guy in the promotion that's going to help us grow, and has our best interest in mind, and it feels good. The
Yep.
momentum is good.
So we have March 9th, Clearwater Casino. Few tickets left. You can get the live stream, look at all that at Koga.tv. And then after we get past that one, you still go to Vegas.
I'm going to Vegas in April. Yeah, that trip is booked. I will be floating in a lazy river doing little laps around a little 30-yard palm tree, with a drink in my hand and a sun visor on, and chilling.
Resetting your brain for when you get back and have to start doing it all
Yeah.
again.
Once again, this show is presented by Combat Games MMA.